Welcome. This is Am I Old Yet? A lightly comic audio drama by me, Floyd Kennedy, about life, the universe and everything from the perspective of one fictional... Is it fictional or fictitious? I must look that up. Anyway, she's old, about the same age as me, but she's not me. No, she's totally made up. This is episode 9, I think. Let me just check that. Episode 9. Don't forget to remember. Oh God, there's something I should take note of, really. Of season 4. We're at the railway station where Helen has come up from London to Edinburgh to meet her American friend Essie, who's come over for a quick last-minute holiday. And as Helen gets off the train, the phone rings and it's her beloved daughter Janey. Yes, Helen here.
Mom, it's Janey.
Oh.
Are you all right? Where are you? I've been trying to call you for hours.
Oh, Janey, I'm sorry about that. I've been on the train.
On a train? Where to?
Hey, Janey,
Where are you?
Settle down. I'm in Edinburgh.
Edinburgh? What on earth are you doing in Edinburgh? Mom,
Janey.
I've been worried sick.
Janey.
I've been trying to call you for nearly 24 hours.
Janey, stop
and
talking.
it just kept going through to your voicemail. Oh, all right. But Mom...
No buts, ifs or whats. Just listen and I'll explain. I called you last night and left a message for you to call me, but obviously when you did call me today, there was no reception on the train. That happened.
But Mom, I never got a message.
But wait, I've been on the train to Edinburgh because I got a call from Essie saying she's here on holiday, and she asked me if I'd like to join her for a couple of days because she can't get to London. So I packed a bag, bought my ticket, left you a message, and now I'm here. Oh, I can see her. I have to go. I'll call you later. Love to Jonathan.
Well, when will you
Look,
call?
when I can. That's when I'll call you. Bye, darling.
There you are.
Essie!
Oh, how wonderful that you made it. I'm very happy to wander around on my own. Or with you. I love to just look around, get lost, get some coffee, wander some more. How about you?
Oh, well, be warned. I can only wander for a short time, and then I need to do something like drinking coffee that involves sitting down. But in a new place, yes, I'd rather wander than get a guided tour.
You know, Beth Ann gets so anxious about getting lost, she won't risk it anymore. Since it's an early sign of dementia, it really freaks her out.
Oh, has she been tested?
Oh, yes. She's fine, but it doesn't make her any less anxious. That's why she didn't come with me on the trip.
Oh, that's a shame.
But how about a tour on a city bus?
Oh, now that's different. I'm definitely up for a bus tour. Get the lay of the land and then decide which bits to wander in.
I like that too. Shall we do that tomorrow? If it stays dry.
Oh, I think the buses probably have some seats under cover.
Oh, of course they do. I've heard it's all about the architecture here in Edinburgh.
Oh, it certainly is. You can't move without coming across a beautiful building. I mean, just look at that.
What is it?
It's the Scott Monument, I think. Sir Walter Scott. So long since I've been here, but that's just popped into my head. We should get a map. A proper tourist map on paper. What do you think?
I agree. Let's go technology free as much as we can.
Hey, that sounds like an adventure. Oh, do you know, I used to have a great sense of direction, but since Google Maps happened, I no longer have any idea which way is up.
I know. Isn't it weird?
Yeah. So tell me about it. Why Scotland all of a sudden?
Well, we had this week with nothing special happening at the office. I'd planned just to hang out at home, do a bit of gardening and stuff. And then an ad popped up on the TV for last-minute discounted trips to Scotland. And Beth Ann insisted that I come over here so that I could explore my ancestral home.
Right.
Because my father came from Kirkcaldy, which is right near here, and my mother's folks come from Oban.
Oh, that's on the other side of the country, I
Yes,
think.
it's on the west coast. So I'm going north to Inverness via Kirkcaldy, then across to Fort William, south to Oban, then Glasgow, and then home.
Oh, and all in a week.
I know it's a lot, but I'm really looking forward to it, Helen. This has been on my mind for years, and I kept putting it off. So of course it took Beth Ann to make it all happen.
Ah, I told you she was a keeper.
Believe you did. After I told you I was keeping her.
You did, but I had to make up my own mind, and then I confirmed it for you.
And very kind of you.
Aren't I just?
How about you? Anyone new on the horizon?
Oh, good grief, no.
Have you been looking?
No, not at all. Not remotely interested.
Really? Never? Did you get lonely at all?
No, to be absolutely honest, Essie, yes, sometimes I do. And then I imagine somebody being there day in and day out, and it horrifies me. So I go for a walk and have a chat with some unsuspecting stranger, and that keeps me going. Or I ring up Janey. Oh, Janey! I said I'd call her back. What time is it?
It's about 6, I think.
And the hotel's only about 10 minutes away. I'll ring her when we get back there before we go out. She's a worrier.
Well, that's not a bad thing to have someone who will worry about you.
Well, it has its moments. I'm not ungrateful, but it can be a bit much at times. But no, you're right, and she's fine. But don't let me forget.
What makes you think I'm going to remember?
Ah, yes. Hey, I have an idea.
Good for you. What's your idea?
I'll set the timer on my watch for 20 minutes, and then when it rings, maybe you'll remember why I set it.
I'll do my best. No promises, though. I seem to have forgotten that sometimes some things are important enough to be sure to remember.
I know just what you mean. I forget to pay attention. Because if I do pay attention, I remember. It's daft, isn't it?
It's scary, too.
Ah, yes, it is. Even though we can joke about
But
it.
you know, I suspect it probably always was like this.
And I suspect you're probably right. I've forgotten that too. And the one thing I do have to remember is not to share too much about how scary it is with Janey.
You don't think it would be good to prepare her from what might be in store for her someday? Remember how nobody warned us about menopause? How horrible it was we had to figure it out for ourselves while we were going through it?
Oh, right, it was pretty awful and damned unfair. But this aging memory stuff and all the aches and pains, you can't share too much of it with younger folk because they don't tend to take it as a warning so that it won't come as a shock. They're more likely to start pitying you, or in Janey's case, worrying about me.
That's a fair point. Or they just back away in confusion. I do have to watch what I say to Beth Ann. She wants to jump in and fix me.
Oh, and that's Janey.
Yeah, I'll do it to her too, now that I come to think about it.
Oh, me too. I always was a fixer.
You were.
Yeah, but you know, I did learn eventually to stop myself from time to time. When I realised that most people don't tell you their troubles because they want you to fix them. They just want to vent.
What about all this new talk about mental health? Everyone encouraged to share how they feel all the time. Do they want to take up space? Do they want to be fixed? I don't always get it.
Well, you know, I think they do want to be fixed, but just between you, me and the gatepost, I'm not convinced that telling all and sundry on social media is the best way to get proper qualified help.
I agree with you. I guess it helps to make it more visible or shared. Not the right word. Do you know what I mean? Better known, not as hidden away.
That's absolutely right. More normalized in a way. If it's discussed openly, then people are more willing to seek help, you know, when it's out in the
I
open.
think it's pretty amazing, you know? So many different parts of life that used to be off limits, taboo. People didn't even believe these problems existed because nobody mentioned them.
That's right. So many superstitions, myths about different conditions. Just look at how people in wheelchairs now, they get about all on their own, take up jobs, act in films, be Olympic athletes.
Well, they still have a long way to go. A lot of places don't have enough ramps and stuff.
No. It's just that it's better than it was.
That's for real. Sometimes Beth Ann jokes that she'd love to have been alive 100 years ago. And a reminder that in addition to all those corsets and things, she and I would have been hounded out of town or burned at the stake, or at least had to pretend we were sisters living together.
That is so true. It's horrifying, isn't it? Ooh. Hey, Is it time to head back to the hotel? It's getting colder now.
I know, that wind. Any thoughts about a restaurant?
Well, I hear the grass market has some good places.
Is it far?
About 20 minutes over the bridge. Walking? Is that okay with you?
Sounds perfect.
Goody. Let's do it. What was that about? Had to phone someone? That was Don't Forget to Remember, episode 9, season 4 of Am I Old Yet? By me, Floyd Kennedy. The role of Essie was played by Joanna Caston, while Helen and Janey were played by me. You can find out more about Joanna and all the wonderful artists who contribute to this show on the website www.amioldYet.com/guests. The sound effects from Waverley Station and the Outdoor Cafe were downloaded under Creative Commons license from freesound.org. Now, are you enjoying this podcast? If so, I hope you remember to mention it to anyone else you think might enjoy it. You can also help me to cover the production costs by means of a small donation at buymeacoffee.com/amioldYet, or by becoming a regular subscribing patron on patreon.com/amioldYet. That subscription brings you extra benefits like maybe a copy of one of my poetry books and digital downloads of some of my songs. Thanks for listening. Stay safe.